Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and get on into this. This is going to be a singles storyline. We shall see where this one is going to take us. Now, this is our full moon today. I have just two zodiacs that I will get to still this evening, a little bit later on. We still have Pisces and Sag. Otherwise, every single zodiac has been done, including Cancerian over on my other channel on Tarot Dog. So the only two that are still left pending are are just Pisces and Sag, but I will get to those a little later today. So here we go. What is our message for a singles storyline? Oh my. Um, First off, we've got a lot of symbolism in this. We've got the key with the open door. We've got a mirror that's showing kind of like the portal. We've got two open books, not just one. We have the tree of life growing out of her head, but we still have a mask on. Okay. So we put all this together, and what I see is we have more than one single person here. Let's start with the foreground. We have, hi, everybody. So great to see you. um, this shows us two people with a book that they haven't even turned the first page. You notice this is like I opened the front cover, haven't even started to fill this up. I guess we could look at it as one person who's about to write a new book because the other one ended. When people are single, we assume that they probably, this is not going to be their first rodeo. Don Divine, tip of the hat. This is not the first rodeo for this cowboy or cowgirl. They probably have had romances that did begin and end in the past. But regardless, we assume our characters are single right now. And on either side, to see like the doorway with the key, and then here to see the mirror, to me, it says on both sides, two people are imagining changing something, having a different outcome than they had before, having a different kind of a romance than what they've known before. They might both be in a place where they're willing to go for people they never would have dreamed connecting with. They might be falling for people they haven't imagined themselves matching up with, but they're not showing it, even though I feel like they're of one mind. This already feels like a familiar tale. I feel like we've been getting a message about kind of like characters that one knows or the other one doesn't, or they both know but they haven't talked yet. That is a very reoccurring theme throughout like the last week and a half, I'll say, and I have never had that on my channel before in any of my storytelling. So I'm wondering if I could understand that it stands to reason that lots of times people hold their emotions inside, especially if they've been through hurts, pains, failed relationships, and now it's like, oh, but I met somebody that I like, and I'm still a little nervous to reveal that. I think it's fair to think that that's a plausible place for characters to be at in these fictional tales. Ace of Coins says new beginnings, says a desire for something different. Somebody could be really into Japanese or Chinese block print, but we also couple it with a very like classical, almost romance, Victorian, like Regency romance vibe here. And we've got the Empress. So we know that there's a strong romanticized vibe, but also the intention of long-term high level commitment is what is desired. What I'd like, here's I'm speaking on behalf of these characters, and I do think that there's two of them, not just one, but they have the same mindset. They both are saying, what I'd like is for things to turn out different. What I'd like this time is for things to turn out nurturing and something I could rely on. Now we could have a Libra and a Taurus, since that both of those are, carried on the Empress energy here. Definitely we have strong earth energy as well coming off of that Ace of Pentacles. But they both have the same desire from what I can tell, which is, God, I'd love to have a great outcome. I would love to have something different than I've known in the past. I'd love to have a new beginning that, if I could start believing in love again, but be wiser about it this time, what I would do is I wouldn't run from it. I'd be really serious. I'd be really grown up. I'd nurture a connection. I'd be in it to win it with a person who hopefully would be the exact same. Well, I feel like they're both in the same head and heart space. We have the Hanged Man here. There's always the worry of, yeah, but it might be like walking on a tightrope. And what if you fall off? And what if, everything falls apart. There is that nervousness. And I think that's the primary thing that holds both of them back from saying anything, is the other side of the coin, which is, but what if they don't feel that way? I know what I'd like to do different, but this is the reason they're both delaying communicating. Let me ask this. Do these characters already know each other? Sorry, I don't know why I'm this snuffle up, I guess, today, but other than it's really, really cold out. But Mastery of Swords and Nine of Cups. Do they know each other? I'm going to say absolutely. To the point where it's like, we definitely see a hint of thoughts that go to, like, in my fantasy realm, I think this could be amazing, but then, I crash back down. Right now, this is a romance that they both fantasize about, because the air energy is being up here. And we have, this is my like little fallen angel, you got a city little angel wings. By the way, whomever is playing the role of our divine masculine in this could be an air sign, doesn't have to be. Don't forget, we also have Pisces that popped out here, but he could have like tats. Maybe he's got full on sleeves. He could have kind of a badass look. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have a heart of gold or that he's not a giant teddy bear, but he has a decidedly like kind of, sexy, little bit of a badass, little bit of a rebellious vibe that comes off of him. But obviously, as a king upright, he's super intelligent. But I do think he's a romantic also. I think these characters both are romantic in the way, or maybe I shouldn't even say it as romantic. Maybe it's what romance should be. I'd like somebody who really wants to stay. I'd like somebody who would put the work in. Because let's say this, Chinese and Japanese block art print, I mean, those have to be carved in order to then create the stamp of the block print. That's a lot of work and a lot of precision. So both of them are like, I'd love to invest in something that really means something. I'd be willing to go the distance. I'd be really willing. It feels like, certainly on his side, he knows what he would like, but there is an element of, they've only played it out in their heads. That's their wish fulfillment. It's very much like, oh my God, we could have this amazing romance. I imagine being with that person. I imagine how great it could be. And then it's like, but come on back down to planet Earth here and be like, yeah. Oh, there's that song by Roy Orbison, In Dreams, I walk with you. In dreams, I smile with you. Only in dreams, in beautiful dreams. The sun before the dawn, I awake and find you gone. I can't help it if I cry. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I can hear the whole. I love Roy Orbison, and I'm going through the whole thing. I'm not going to take it to the bridge right now, but it's happening up here, guys, because I'm about to belt it out, and we all know I can't hit those notes. With the Eight of Swords here, it definitely, we keep pushing on this idea that it's all in fantasy land right now. And it's really hard to get out of fantasy land and go after what they both want. It's really hard because they're both still wearing masks about it. They're both wanting something really meaningful. And I think that ups the ante. If it didn't matter, they could just, throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. They could randomly reach out to 24 people and be like, whatever, lover happens to write me back. Cool. We'll roll with it. That is not the way either of these characters feel. Let's break it down and let's get a snapshot of each of them, shall we? First off, tell me just about the one that I'm calling our masculine energy here, kind of our bad boy. Ten of Cups. Told you he's a teddy bear. Look at that. He would like somebody who walks straight toward him, somebody who's there for him, somebody who picks him. That would be his Ten of Cups. Somebody that's like, whatever, meet me in the garden, meet me at the fountain. Don't detour, come straight toward me, right? Make a beeline straight for me. That is what he would like to have. That's his image of a Ten of Cups. He'd like somebody who openly chooses him. Three of Pentacles. He wants his ride or die. He wants somebody that is like all in, all the way. Let's build something real. And it should be something that sparks more. There's a strong creative energy here too. You notice the serpent of like flame wrapping around the tree of life. He's very much, I mean, the tree of life is like illuminated, right? It's glowing. So I would just say that to build that tree of life with a lover who like is really equally as invested, and they spark each other's like creativity, and they do more together and they build more together, like that's his ideal. You know what? Awesome. Awesome. So he does have a very emotional side, but also a grounded side, also a pretty clear picture of what he wants. 10 of Wands, and he has obviously been heftily disappointed, I will say. He has been heftily disappointed in the past. Mightily there, not heftily, mightily disappointed in the past. He's had a relationship that was, I'm thinking, probably meaningful, but it didn't work out. It didn't go the distance. That could be something that really drained him. He may still be in that energy of like, what it taught me is how badly I really want the real deal. Not that he's still wounded. The 10 of Wands is laying down those burdens, but we can see how much it changed him. Whatever the aftermath of a previous connection was, one that didn't go the distance, although it was supposed to have, that was really heavy for a masculine who kind of believes in forever. You know, I don't think he gets into stuff intending for it to be nothing, or at least he doesn't invest his heart and only to have it like end. So I'm thinking that that was a pretty heavy thing for him to go through, but at the same time, it solidified for him, this is truly who I am and what I truly want. And I'm probably not going to do another romance unless I can go this route. You know, it's got to be all in. Let me ask this. Why do you feel like she is that person for you? She or he? I only say she because we've seen masculines and feminines on this so far. We have got the 5 of Wands in the reverse. I don't know, but when you know, you know. He doesn't even, it's not even a question. He can't even like go round and round in his head and be like, well, this and this and this, or the, you know, the foundational reasons. It's something that you can't explain. It's just like, I just know. It isn't logical. It isn't a tick off, you know, list of reasons. 6 of Wands. I just see her on the other side of the street, and she's right at eye level with me, and she's just, we might be on two different sides of the world, but I know that this is her. She might be somebody that, you know, in a world full of all these people, not everybody stands out to us, but the ones that do, it's like when you've been alive long enough, especially, maybe you kind of know when something is, you know, calling to you versus, you know, like, especially maybe the more experience you get, the more you know the difference between like lust or something really special. He knows. Maybe he's always known, but he knows a lot better now. I'll say it's very concrete. He already can see that this would be successful. Okay, but then that would beg the question, where's the worry coming from that would hold them back? Because they're both in the holding back, like, but oh man, what if I'm wrong? Because he says, I'm not wrong. I already know. Where is the holding back coming from? Or is this just simply a delay at the moment? The Hierophant, there's something about like, he's more or less saying, it's not that I'm holding back. It's that I can feel that the universe is somehow like, you notice he's like, the universe is kind of like a conductor. Like everyone's singing in harmony. Everything is being arranged by the conductor. Now I know this looks more like a physics course, but I always look at this particular Hierophant as the universe is bringing these two. He's already sat them side by side. They're already in the same class. But the universe is orchestrating more of this. His higher self says, I'm not holding back. It's something about either the timing or something about the way moving pieces are going to click into place. And I don't want to over control it myself. There's something here that maybe because he believes that this will work, maybe that's where his sense of like, I have to wait until I'm prompted by the next, like, whatever that internal thing is going to tell him, you know, where to go next. He's listening for a voice in his heart to say, okay, now turn left. Or, you know, he'll make the move when it's right, but it's just right now he's waiting for the grand conductor to point out, you know, where the symphony goes. Okay, so let's pause on him and let's go over to her. I feel like we need this deck for her. All right, so let's get to know her a little bit. Hi, everybody. Hi, Unique to Freak. Great to see you, hon. Hi, Delinda. Hi, Chrissy. I'll say hi to everybody properly at the end. Those are just names that popped out at me. Page of Wands. Okay, so she's in the energy, and look at, she's a little bit like stepped behind and kind of being shaded by, I don't know, a visor. Maybe she wears like a visor or something like that. Maybe this is her car visor that she flips down. Maybe she drives into the sun an awful lot. Maybe this is somebody who, you know, she does look fair skinned, red haired. Maybe it's like, got to get some skin protection going on. I don't sit right in the sun. I always step, you know, just a little bit back, just a smidge. If I'm, you know, whatever, having a outside coffee at a cafe, she might sit half in the sun, half in the light. There's just something where we see her a little hidden. Now, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like I said, if you're working on your sun protection, you're going to be conscientious about that. But when we step half into the shadow, sometimes it is a metaphor for like, I'm not ready to admit what I know yet. And this being the Page of Wands, this is just a tiny little ember of a spark that she's acknowledging. Not, she seems more timid. Okay, when it comes to him, yes and no. More timid, and then, sorry, my phone's blown up. More timid, and yet also with that Hermit card in the reverse, she could be a Virgo, by the way. She's not timid at the same time. She's like ready to talk. She's ready to not be on that quiet journey in the shadows. But maybe she's literally just emerging from this cocoon. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, she's still very much in an internal, like, okay, let's put it this way. Anybody who's ever been, let's say, sick or had the flu, you know, you get over it and you feel better, but maybe you're still not 100% energized yet. So you have the energy to take a shower and put on clothes so you feel like a human. And you go, I'm going to go to the store. I feel so much better. But you only make it down the driveway and you're like, I think I'm just going to get the mail and then I'm going to go back into the house and I might need a nap. Because showering, dressing, having food, and exiting my home was actually as much energy as I had. I need to still kind of like build up my inner source. It's not that I'm not better. I'm not contagious. I'm not sick anymore, but I'm also not 100% like, I mean, I'll pick up the phone, I'll email, I'll text, I'll call, but maybe I'm not ready to go out just yet. That's kind of where she's at. So there's just a little, maybe timid isn't the right word. Maybe she's just building up her energy stores, but she is ready to talk. I just think, and she's got a spark, she's got interest. I think obviously she likes him too, but she's working on just a little bit more of, okay, I'm back, I'm empowered. I think I have something to offer. Let me confirm that. Do an all systems check, you know, and it's like she's going through her chakras. She's experiencing what it feels like to be flowing. It's a test run. It's a test drive. You know, it's like if you get a new car, you're going to put it through its paces at first, right? You probably don't buy it, drive it off the lot, and immediately hit the road for a 1,000-mile trip. You get on the freeway for a mile and you intentionally pump it and you test to see how does it handle at really high speeds. You know, hopefully first you check the brakes in roundabout driving, stop and go traffic in non-dangerous scenarios, but then you start to test to see how it handles. You know, there's just a way that you should do things to make sure you're good. We got the 4 of Wands. Once again, we actually see her. She's going to go from 0 to 100 pretty quick. She's just testing the waters in her own head and heart. And I really think that's what she's doing, is like, if there was a gas pedal inside somebody's heart, so you could rev it and be like, yeah, actually sounds good. Okay, I could do that love thing again. Yeah, I could do a 4 of Wands. Yeah, 100%. I'm there. I'm in. She's in that space where she's been just a little bit like, oh, here we go. We're going to test it. Yeah, sounds good. Feels good. All right, I could do this. I really like this. DTC, you wild thing. Love it. There's bravery for you. So what she got to think about him at this point, because she's getting more and more like, 4 of Wands me, baby. 4 of Wands me. Five of Swords, King of Pentacles sideways. It's as if all of her little guides are swarming around her saying, whoa, don't overthink this. Don't, I feel like the guides are pulling her back, saying, you know, Five of Swords can be like mean energy, harsh energy, wanting to win. Or, and this is the way I'm interpreting it right now, is not meanness, but it's a lot of thought, right? A lot of thought. And you can burn yourself out and get frustrated if all you do is think. And if she feels at all like, oh man, I just got my heart settled. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm coming out of my cocoon. I feel like I care about somebody, or I'd be interested in getting to know them. But why aren't they coming toward me? Like, what am I going to have to do? Tap dance to get them to pay attention to me? Like, it could turn into frustration. And her guides are swarming her saying, don't even go down that road. No, no. It kind of feels like let him approach instead of becoming what could be the chaser or putting herself through. I'm wondering if in the past she felt like she chased somebody. I'm wondering if in the past there's some still like a little bit of, you know, I don't want to put myself into any scenario of what it felt like before. Remember, both of these characters want something better. So we see her, I think, listening to her guides, who could be the ancestors, they could be just her own good sense, her own life experiences that are, you know, owls represent wisdom. She could be Greek, by the way. You know, the owls are associated with Athena. Athens, you know, in particular is the, you know, Athena is the patron of that city, and owls are always associated with her. So defenses, wisdom. I just feel like don't give away your vulnerability and then get mad over it is kind of the nudge that she has in regards to him. It's a little bit like, if he's interested in me, I think he'll probably reach out. My past experiences and my past wisdom have told me, don't be the one to over verbalize things. Don't be the one to do so much and end up feeling like the chaser and end up feeling foolish. Right now, he's kind of kicking it, eating his apples. There's a reason that he's not moving toward her. There's also a reason she's not moving toward him right now. I'm going to double down and say it is her instinct saying, if I did that, it could turn bad. So both of them have this interesting, like, intuitive, I feel like two people are floating on like two sides of a pier. Like I'm literally picturing like this funky little wave. And as long as you don't like jostle things too much, you're not going to get pitched off into the water. But you got to go with the flow first. Just get the rhythm, start doing. And I'm like, I'm on the moon. I'm bouncing. Maybe somebody's on a yoga ball. Maybe they sit on a yoga ball. But there's this element of get your bearings, get into the groove, get into the bounce, let the energy just exist for a few minutes instead of thinking instantly that something needs to happen because you've thought that you wanted to reach out. I got to cover up her top because she is bodaciously gifted on the the northern hemisphere of her sexy bod. So I do have to cover her up a bit. Wheel of Fortune says it all day. Everything here is about, and she's actually on a boat too. Everything here says be the master of one's own ship, but also listen to the call of the divine. Listen to the divine timing. We've got a blossoming rose, especially when it talks about, like, you know, you don't force your roses to open when you want them to. You have a rose bush, or you have somebody gifts you roses, and it's such a delight to watch them unfurl and blossom. You don't stand there and, you know, force it to happen on your timeline. So I think, and maybe that's a nice metaphor also for not just love, but, you know, we're coming up to Valentine's Day as well. There is not a rush for these two to connect. Divine timing is going to click into place. This almost looks like it would be a metaphor for a clock, but it's sailing a ship. It's the, what do you call it? The wheel, the helm, I'm sure there's a nautical term for it, but that isn't probably just the wheel, but it is a wheel, isn't it? I know, somebody fact check me. I haven't been sailing a lot lately on my tea clippers. 5 of Wands, although that is the biggest dream of mine, I will say. Oh, ever since being on the Cutty Sark. Oh my God. Master and Commander. Love that film. Love the music in it. Terrific. I love the swashbuckling tales and Horatio Hornblower. Amazing. I was so sucked into that. Anyway, I digress. I don't know. Maybe that's part of this story. Maybe that is definitely a romantic, adventurous kind of thing, or at least I equate adventure toward like something very romanticized. But maybe these two could have a really fun adventure together. The Five of Wands in this deck contradicts what we would usually see. Instead of being lost in the forest, lost in our thoughts, going round and round and round in ideas, we've got a sudden bolt of bravery being emitted from one or the other of them. It'll probably happen. I don't know if it's 5 days from now, but the 5 is really shouting out to me right now. Maybe in twilight time, maybe this is the wee hours of the morning, or as night comes on, or maybe it's smack dab in the middle of the night. All I can say is it's not daytime. There's a sudden bolt of bravery, and I think a message is going to be sent. My impression is that it's probably going to be like, it could even be somebody gets up out of bed in the middle of the night and goes, I just have to text. I just have to send a message. I just have to reach out. This is sudden. This is unexpected. And it is that moment of courage that, courage occurs when we're still scared, but we do it anyway. And we just know it's the right thing to do. And it overrides the feeling of fear because it's like, it's just right. There's no questioning. Everything got aligned inside of me. My thoughts, my body, mind, spirit, soul. Fear is secondary to the fact that everything drives me forward and says, I have to, though, but I have to. And in this case, it's like, I have to reach out. We have the phoenix rising from the ashes. I keep leaning toward this, this being the energy of somebody who is going to be like coming back into the realm of like trying to date, trying to communicate, trying to make something happen. That judgment card can be a judgment call. It can be trying to rekindle something. It can be trying to fix something. Well, I didn't see anything here that said that these two used to know each other. This is the first time we've seen that. Could they actually have known each other before? Now it's possible. This could be an ex scenario. But with that judgment card being here, think of reconciliation, though, as like, at the end of a night, you have to reconcile the till. You got to make sure all the money's in it. All of that is another way to think about this. We have the Chariot sideways. I really just feel more like it's time to crack open the door and see, can we move this thing forward? Can we talk? Because I'm feeling like you're part of my wolf pack. I'm feeling like wolves are a heavy part of full moons also. We always associate their howls, and wolves howl to echolocate each other. They howl when they're hunting. They communicate to work, in tandem with each other. Yes, this could represent souls that are just trying to find each other again. This could be lovers that have never met, but they know of each other and they want something. And this is the moment to get things started. Like I said, I don't feel like that actually happens for 5 days, though, in this storyline. I don't usually give timelines on my fictional stories, but here that 5 just screamed at me. And even here, we've got 5, which normally, the Chariot is a 7 card, but we've got 4 wolves and like the wolf mistress here. So I really feel like this is about an alpha pair. It's about somebody who belongs. He may be thinking she belongs in my group. He may have some really close friends, some really close, like, whatever his wolf pack is. And it's like, yeah, but she's my alpha mate. She's the one I'd mate with for life, but she also would fit into my pack. It does feel very much like he's ready to induct somebody into his pack again. And I'm wondering if that's been kind of like a sacred space for him, where it's like, the next time I bring somebody in, like, I really want it to be the person that like I'm really merged with. And that means I have to be able to see her in my group, in my pack, because I don't want to upset the balance of, my ecosystem of what my life is. For some reason, he just knows she would fit, she would belong. It would click. I'd still see this as him taking that action and moving toward her and doing the reaching out. So do we have any other message here? Let's go back to this deck for just a second. 2 of Swords. This Two of Swords, I always read a little bit more like a Two of Wands, only because we've got two archways. Normally, a Two of Swords is where it's like, it's a full block. Somebody's, completely got a blindfold on. They're holding, arms crosswise, making sure nothing can get to them. Instead, here she is again with the visor. I don't know what her deal is with. Maybe she's always looking out across a horizon. Maybe that's, something that she does a lot. Maybe she likes to hike up to the top of mountaintops and look across the horizon. But maybe this is a salute. I don't know. Maybe she's in the military or something along those lines. But I keep feeling more like she's looking for something. But what's interesting is that she doesn't see him sneaking up behind her. She's not seeing what is coming because it's coming in from a different direction. I don't believe she's blocking anything the way the Two of Swords would oftentimes, depict. I just feel like she's turned away from the opportunities that are coming toward her because it's not her making the move. It's actually him. That's the way this looks. She could be quite surprised, actually, because as much as she's thought about this, I don't know that she really believed that this was going to come around. Justice. That's probably because, for her anyway, she in the past may not have met lovers that would have gone the distance for her. Well, somebody who's your wolf mate, they're going to always go the distance for you. There's never going to be a time when they're not going to show up for you. Maybe she's the kind who would have always gone the distance for a mate, but she didn't get that in return. Because that injustice here says it was always like, obviously she would have given, but she didn't get what she received. So maybe it's hard for her to wrap her head around the fact that somebody would be exactly what she's been in the past. Keeping in mind, this brings us back full circle to when we were getting to know him. The first thing that we learned about him is that he wants somebody who walks straight toward him, makes a beeline for him. It chooses him all the way. That is exactly the kind of person she is, but she has not known someone who would treat her that way either. By the way, the full moon is shown up again here behind a few clouds. This is like a real sense of karmic balance coming in right around this full moon, even if it still takes a few days for this to kind of like come to pass. But the universe has a way of bringing things into balance. Can I just ask one final question? Because I'm just curious. What is it about this full moon that is making these kind of like, they're not subtle changes, but it's opening up these energies, these doorways where previously we saw them wanting things, but still wearing masks, still not communicating, still not making the moves. What is it about the full moon right now? Energy, since that's pretty prominent. Oh, the full moon is, it's a lot brighter in the night sky, and it's like the full illumination. So, the hermit usually carries that lantern, and it's kind of a metaphor for like trying to find one's inner voice, trying to go on that journey to figure out who am I and what is it that I actually believe in. I have to like look at my own soul to figure that out. But they figured this out. And then there's something about like the moon's light, the illumination right now. I don't know, maybe, oh my God, the moon was so beautiful last night, but it'll be even better tonight. Because I think it peaked this morning at like 8:53 Eastern Standard Time, if I remember right, somewhere right in there, the end of the eights in the morning. But this card is really nice in the way it depicts the hermit. The theory of spontaneous solitude is practiced throughout the Eastern Himalayas by wandering hermits intent on finding inner peace, solitude, expression, and intensity. And then there's a little bit more, but you can't read the text anymore. And there's something about like outlining kind of like planetary bodies and stars as well. But to see this card in the reverse, and my question is, what is it about this particular full moon that is like having these characters get to the point where they're about ready to make a move? And it is because they figured out who they really are. I think these two have so much in common. I think that these two are very deep, maybe very philosophical, but most importantly, they've learned what is it that I really want in a mate? Why am I drawn to a particular person? And then, if this is being illuminated right now, this is what's coming from the subconscious and coming fully into the light. It's also that, but I want those things. I know what I want. I know why I want it. I know who I am. And now that I know it, how would I not reach out for it? Of course, I want to go after the thing that I now have clarity that I actually This is what will work for me. That's why they'll be successful together, because they both know what they're actually looking for now. And that takes, I think it takes time to get to know yourself and know what you're really made of. Like, you know, I don't run. I didn't know that about myself before, but I don't leave. I don't ever want to walk away from something that I committed to. Maybe in the past they didn't really fully like wrap their head around just how important that sense of stability was, that, you know, like have the staying power, or have the full blown knowledge that this is how my love story is going to go. And you have to have convictions in life. You have to know what it is that you really want, and then you can be that thing, and then you get that thing. Is kind of the way I'm looking at this. So really nice story. But yeah, we have these two coming together at some point in time. I would say in the not too distant future, but man, this full moon is a really big like time of revelation for this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Jesse. Hi, Jane. So good to see you. Oh, shout out to you in England, my dear. Hey, Courtney. Sarah J. I'm glad you made it in to say hi, sweetheart. DTC, hi. Awesome. 11:08. Thank you for confirming. It is the helm. Okay, great. Chrissy, thanks again. Really good to see you. Rosebud, did I see your question from yesterday before my last? Oh, you mean when you were saying that you wanted me to pull cards for you? I don't do that unless I offer it. I don't do it on demand or anything like that. So I don't do that. The only times I ever do that is if I actually make the announcement. So like, I think that was last night on Tarot Dog, right? So when Tarot Dog hits 10,000 subscribers over there, I will go ahead and go live and do card pulls for subscribers. But the only time I ever do card pulls for subscribers is if I specifically say it in the title, or if like during a live session, if I feel so inclined, I sometimes will be like, hey, happy birthday, let me grab you a card. And I just do that as like a special treat here and there. But I never do it like when people decide that they want it. I only do it when I feel so inclined. So I hope that explains that. But thank you for asking. I'm honored that you like my storytelling enough to want me to tell you a story. But no, it's just when I have either set aside the time, and it's very special conditions. I don't do it often because it is just a kind of a special gift. And so anyway, I hope that explains it. But thank you. Thank you for asking. Rachel's Magic. Hey. Nikki O, hi, honey. Violet, hi. Lalu, Night 1971. I love your name. In my family, that we always had the night said one night to the other night, night. So you just reminded me of that. Christy Peruso, ciao, Bella. Hey, RS. And AC, hey, darling. So glad you made it, Dwayne Weathers. Always great to see the unique to freak in the house. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Annie S, hi, honey. Oh, yes. Annie S, thank you for adding that in, that the block print's also popular in India. Ray Amber, D. Rogers. EM made it. Awesome. Hey, Patricia Vukator. Great to see you. Violet, you're groggy today. You've probably been working hard. You probably need some rest. I'm frequently groggy. And I can't say it's always because I was working hard. Sometimes it's just one of those days, you know. Hi, Talia G. Thank you for joining. Melrose, Godzilla MC. You sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here, babe. And Don Divine, you're a cowboy now. Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm hearing that song. I want to be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl. Isn't it Riding on the Range? I got my boots, Dusty. Something along those lines. I think it's Boys Don't Cry, right? The Light. Thank you so much for being here. And EM, you were first in the house, love. All right, you guys. Victoria Edwards, great to see you. Denise, you sweetheart. Shout out to you, New Zealand, Victoria. Living Water, hey. Yale Reuben, good to see you. Shout out to D'Artagnan and the rest of the Three Musketeers. Juliet, hi, honey. Okay, I just did something weird to my entire chat and made it go gray. Don't ask me how or why. Be hot, great to see you, hun. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you again later on this evening, and we will get caught up on those last two zodiacs. I might do a bonus also for one or two zodiacs. Does anybody have throw a one in the hat if there's a particular zodiac you want me to do a bonus for today? As always, I tend to lean toward the zodiacs that most watch my channel as a thank you to them for supporting, and the most like interactive groups are always my Virgos and Libras and Leos. That tends to be the groups that are most reactive. They give the most thumbs up. They help the channel to grow the most. So that's why I feel compelled to say thank you. And so anytime I get a chance to squeeze in some bonuses, I always go to thank those zodiacs because they indeed are supporting the channel the most. Oh, Amy, awesome. I did get an Aries out today. Gabriella, I did get Aqua out today. Annie S. All right, definitely we'll do a Leo. Okay. And Libra. Scorpio, let me see. Pisces is tonight for sure. Sag is tonight for sure. BTC is voting for Scorpio. I did just get a Scorpio out late last night, and I don't even know how many people have watched it yet because it came out late, and I don't know that YouTube has given you guys any of the what do you call it? Notifications. So okay, I see another Nabila is still voting for Scorpio also. Okay, I definitely see one for Leo. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Leo's in the lead right now by a long shot. I just did Taurus just now. Okay, but still Scorpio's coming in pretty strong also. And since I botched that last Scorpio one before this, EM, you're going for double Pisces. Maybe we'll do an extra long Pisces. How about that? We'll do like a double feature where it'll be an extra long. And Stanley says Aquarius because it's Aquarius. You are spot on with that. All right, and NES, we're getting a lot of Aqua votes. Okay. All right, you guys. Lots of love. I'll see y'all tonight. Take care. I'll see you again. Bye.